Nah. All right, it sounds like we're live. How are you? I know it looks a little strange. I know I may look a little strange, right? But hey, it is May 21st, 2025, and it's a live stream. And if you're hearing the ambient noise, you'd realize something's wrong. It's usually real quiet where he's at. That's because I'm not where he's at anymore. I did tell you guys something exciting was going to happen. Here it is. Last Friday ago, I was emailing a friend of mine from Flamingo. And they had mentioned that there was some opportunity for work where they were. So they gave me a name, and I emailed them. And they emailed back, and I answered about 5 or 6 questions email-wise. And then on a Saturday morning, I had a contract land in my face. You can have everything you have at Jonathan Dickinson State Park, and we'll pay you. Not a lot, but we'll pay you to be a camp host. The reason you're hearing this sound, that vibration, is I'm currently at a Love's truck stop in Florence, South Carolina, because the job is below Cape Hatteras in North Carolina. That's right. I'm moving from Florida to North Carolina. And I am about 5 hours from my destination. I left 2 or 3 miles inside the Florida-Georgia line this morning, and I got here at about 2:33 o'clock, and I was wiped. I parked, I got something to drink, and I put Bodie and I to bed for 90 minutes, and then I woke up, and I said, well, I'm only 5 hours away, and I don't want to show up in the dark, and it's now 6 o'clock, so I'll probably stay here. I'll probably leave tomorrow at about 5 or 6 and show up. I was supposed to be there the 25th. Oh dear, I will have to show up early. I don't know what they're going to do. However, it's very exciting to hear somebody took one look at my resume, talked to 2 people who worked with me, and wanted me to come immediately. That was very nice. Bodie is now officially a road dog because he was born in Florida, and now he has crossed 2 state lines. I know, Smiley. So he's been a very good boy. He doesn't really like the travel, but give him some time, and he'll be okay. So again, my responsibilities as a camp host, I've got a couple of things I've got to do, and from what I understand, it is pretty easy. Check in guests, maybe pick up some stuff. They want me on the 2:30 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. shift. I don't care. It's fine. Make the new guy work the bad hours. It's perfectly fine. But good. I'm really good with the whole thing. So that'll be until about November, and then we're going to see what happens. I spoke to the people at Jonathan Dickinson, and they're very interested in having me become a park ranger down there. So I have to weed through my email, which I haven't done in a couple of days. There should be something in there so I can do some basic application stuff, and that's cool. They were giving me tips and tricks because they would really like to have me. They enjoyed me as a volunteer, and I enjoyed being a volunteer. However, as I said to the nice lady I spoke to, this is what you're giving me, and I work 24 hours in a week. They're going to give me everything you're giving me, and I'm going to work 40 hours a week, and they're going to pay me. She couldn't say no to it, and I couldn't say no to it. So I accepted on the spot. And so now we're on our way. Hi, Mark H. I am, just so you know, I am currently sitting at that truck stop, and I'm looking at a cornfield, which isn't bad. I don't see a lot of corn. I did see it in Florida City, but not when I got further north near Jupiter. and trees. Real, honest to God trees. Not palms, not cabbage palms, not dwarf cypress, real damn trees. I'm looking at conifers. I'm looking at, that might be an oak tree in the background there. For Mark, because I know you showed up late, I'm in Florence, South Carolina right now. That's the sound that you're hearing right now. Again, I was offered a position as a camp host in near Cape Hatteras, North Carolina. So I've been on the road for a couple of days. Hello, William Brody. So I'm on the road for the next couple of days. I'll go back again because now we have two people. My surgery yesterday was postponed. Okay, I hope that that's a good thing. So I'll go back again because now we have people, which is awesome. I accepted a position. I'm in Florence, South Carolina right now at a Love's truck stop. I accepted a position at a RV resort that's actually near Cape Hatteras. Yeah, it is right off 995. I've been on 95 for days. So I'm going to be the camp host over there till at least October or November. We'll see what happens. But yeah, it was one of those really quick things where it was, hey, hi, how are you? My buddies work there. They really like it. Okay, send me a resume. Okay, here's my resume. Okay, here's your contract. It was like I answered 5 questions by email, and immediately I just had the job. It was weird. So it's pretty strange. It really is kind of strange. I didn't think life moved that fast, especially at my age, because I don't move fast anymore. But here we are. And so, as I was saying, I'm looking at more flora that are closer to home. And I've spent 3 years in exile looking at cabbage palms. Did you miss the boats? Yes. Do I miss the boats? Yes, I miss the boats. I missed being the houseboat supervisor was fun, but I didn't miss it as much because it had a little bit of stressy to it. I miss being the naturalist. It was a lot of fun. Being the retail manager was okay, but there was a lot of stress that came with that. And as you guys already know, the biggest stress I had was that I was getting, yelled at because the staff that I had some incredibly good staff. And I worked with some incredibly bright people at Flamingo. And then I worked with people that weren't. And the problem was that I was responsible for people that I neither hired nor promoted. And anytime there was a problem, I was on the hook. And I'm like, well, I didn't hire him and I didn't promote him and I wasn't part of the hiring process. If you would have made me part of the hiring process, I would have went, no. And that would have been the end of that. So, when I got loud about it, I got my butt handed to me. So it was, I resign, you're fired, all at the same time. I miss the boats. Like I said, Bodie is now officially a road dog because he's traveled through a number of states. He was born in Florida. Now he's been to Georgia and South Carolina. He's going to North Carolina. That ought to be interesting. And he's laying right next to me. He's half asleep. And let's see, Peter Santinello just released a video about the Outer Banks. That's where I'm going. I've been to the Outer Banks a number of times. I'm not thrilled. I'm not the beach person, right? That would be Carrie. Carrie's my beach. If you ever watch, God, what is the name of that channel? Not Today is Someday. God, I don't remember. And because I haven't seen them in a bit. Mark and Cherie. They live in their camper. They do their thing. Hi, James. How are you? But Mark and Cherie is Beach Tribe and Mark is Forest Tribe. And that's me and Carrie. And that is the way that it works. So, like I said, I'm sitting staring at a cornfield and looking at trees that look like trees. They're not cabbage palms. They're not palm trees. They're not scrub pine. They're not Australian pine. They are closer to home. That's all I can say. The ride has been uneventful. I know I've got some coils that need to be replaced on the rig. So I'm going slow and easy, 62 miles an hour in the right lane, and we'll limp our way there. Once I get to North Carolina, we'll find a good truck guy, and we will have him dig in and take care of it. It's about time. So let's see. What else can I tell you? Again, Jonathan Dickinson State Park was nice. It was a lot of fun. And again, I've got to get into my email because my email is probably a mess right now. They really would like me to become a park ranger, and there's going to be a space opening soon. So never underestimate that I may be a park ranger in a Florida State Park. You never know what can happen. I know what I would like to have happen, but there is still nobody has taken the bounty. We'll find out. I've moved it to $200, and I still don't have anybody brave enough to do it. Dr. Petrovich, hi, Mr. Carl. Hi, Dr. Petrovich. How are you? I don't know if should I repeat myself? Somebody tell me. Should I repeat myself? Because, I mean, some of you stepped in a little late. Some of you came in the middle of things. But it's all right. You guys can always rewatch us. We're not going to keep this too long. But, yeah, I've got to say the Love's truck stop is pretty clean. It's a little busy. Where's Linda this week? Don't know. She may be a little busy, so that's all right. So don't know where Linda is. I know that you can always watch and catch up. I would bring Bodie to the camera, but I would have to take the camera to Bodie. He's sleeping. It's warm. Not as warm as it was before. I mean, I'll tell you that the first night when I left Jonathan Dickinson, I went from Jupiter or Hope Sound, Florida, and I was about 3 miles into Florida-Georgia line, and I stayed at a Cracker Barrel, and it was hot. I mean, and I had no air conditioning because nowhere to plug in, so windows open, had a fan running, anything to keep us from sweating, and it was a hot night, right? Today was travel from that 3 miles inside Florida-Georgia line. Excuse me. And made it all the way to Florence, South Carolina. I did, a lot of my stops. I did stop a lot, about every 90 minutes or so. And my stops were mainly, I had to pee, he had to pee, I was thirsty. And I did bring snacks and drinks along the way. But sometimes I wanted a cup of coffee or whatever it was. So take him outside for 3 to 5 minutes, get him to stretch his legs and go potty, and then go in, get that. And gas. It has been very expensive on gas. I've been doing $50 at a pop, and I must have spent $250, $300 on gas just getting where I am right now. So, and my tank is about 3/4 full, if not more. I expect one more gas stop because I am only 5 miles. Wish I was 5 miles. 5 hours from my destination, which is why I'm thinking I'm going to stay here at the truck stop tonight because I can't see a reason to get on the road again and travel an hour or so and then stop and then travel again and stop when I'm already stopped because I started travel today at 7 a.m. and I stopped at about 3. So I was moving, and I was not pushing it, but I was constantly in motion, save to stop, pee, get coffee, that type of thing. Pedro says, weather forecast in Chile today, hot tamale. Gotta love those south of the border billboards. Yep, I did see that. I have not passed south of the border. Probably am close to south of the border. I stopped there coming down when I was being exiled with Queso, and I got a picture of him in front of the south of the border sign, so that's kind of cool. And I did see the Welcome to South Carolina sign today, and remember when I stopped at that sign and took a picture with Queso in that, and the Georgia, Welcome to Georgia sign, I saw that as well. So I also saw something I did not see when I was coming down 3 years ago, which is interesting. It was a place called El Cheapo Gas. And I mean, look, Wawa gas is pretty cheap. And we've all been to some cheap gas stations, but El Cheapo, at least, you know what you're getting. So I did not stop at El Cheapo Gas. I stopped at a Shell station, which is okay, I guess. We got a truck backing in next to me. Hang on, he looks like he's got to square it off. What else did I see? I must have driven past 3 Buc-ee's. Okay. And I know better than to go into a Buc-ee's. Because if I go into a Buc-ee's, I'm going to eat 1,500 calories of food, and I'm going to spend $40. There's no way you can get out of Buc-ee's. You know, when a place advertises that there's a candy wall, for the kids, that's gotta have coffee on travel. Fill up in South Carolina, cheaper gas in North Carolina. Yes, that's right. Gas here was $3.03 when I did that. And as for coffee, when I don't want to stop, I got this thing right here. These things, this is okay. All right. They're all right. They're like that instant coffee. And I'm not a Folgers guy, really. But, you can take one of those while you're driving and put it into a bottle of water, shake it up, and you have iced black coffee. So you can do that. But I will do what Mark H. says. I will, right before I leave the South Carolina line, I will top my tank off and make it stuffed full, and I will move on from there. So, but that is the excitement to share with all of you. I don't know. Like I said, I've been in North Carolina a couple times, and I've had some good experiences, some bad experiences, had no experiences. I don't know what this is leading us to. I just know that I find it very interesting that you email somebody, they email you back and go, yes, I know these people. They ask you to answer 4 or 5 questions. You do, and then the next thing you have is a contract in your hands. Something told me you need to move in that direction. So I did. The insurance, there it is. If you like good coffee, now makes K-Cups. My coffee is, if I want to do it right, it's in a percolator. I'm a little picky. But I mix usually chock full of nuts, and I don't have a block here, but I have it. Because I was living in exile, I learned something. And they have a very strong coffee called Cafe Bustelo. All right. Now, I've had, thank you, Kerry. She brought me coffee from New Orleans, Louisiana once, which is coffee with chicory in it. And I was not a big fan. But I will take the biggest can of chock full of nuts, because that's what I grew up drinking. My mom drank it, so I drank it. And I will mix 1 or 2 of those little compressed blocks of Cafe Bustelo into that and stir it all up. And it definitely puts a kick in. It sure does, right? And it's good. Now, I will tell you, Bustelo's good mixed with Chase and Sanborn. All right, I'm going to try that. I like it. I'll give it a shot. I will also tell you that one of the things I really, really like, okay, when it comes down to all of that, is since I was in exile, right? Told you there's a truck next to me. Cuban coffee. Devil coffee, wake up coffee. Yep. A friend of mine likes Black Rifle. Okay. Yeah, the Cuban coffee, it's basically the Cafe Bustelo or another brand, and it's made as like espresso. And they mix in for every so much of the coffee, brown sugar. And it's served black, like espresso. It's very, very rich. It's very, very dark. It's very, very sweet. And you can only have like this much of it, because if you try to drink too much of it, your brains will bounce out of your head. It is really good stuff. Let's see, peanut butter sandwich and coffee. There you go. I just know that, it's very, very interesting to me. Once I got out of Florida and I hit Georgia, everyone spoke English. I have not had an encounter with somebody who goes, no habla. As soon as I left Florida, liver sandwich and coffee. All right. I'll leave you to that, James. I will leave you to that. I don't like liver. I would say peanut butter sandwich and coffee would make sense to me. Even a simple ham cheese with onion is good. And that. But I would say a cup of black coffee and an Italian, hate to say it because you know where I'm from, hoagie, would definitely work for me. I have had Turkish coffee. It's okay. For me, Turkish coffee has a strange aftertaste. It's kind of chemically. That's just me. And I won't say it to anybody else. It's kind of chemically. You like it, you have it, man. I am good to go with that. Just not for me. But let's see what else. Again, I'm still tripped out. I'm looking at real plants and real trees. I'm getting. It's like you're closer to home, and it's going to make me homesick. Eventually, it's going to make me homesick. After 3 years in exile and living with some incredibly good biology, now I'm starting to get homesick. I'm like, what's cornfields? And that's the pine tree. And it's going to get me. It's going to end up getting me. You're going to hear me crying. And then I'm going to the beach, which is, again, not me. That's Kerry. So where I'm going to be is where Cape Hatteras is. You go up North Carolina, and there's that little thin strip of land that hangs off of North Carolina. I'm going to be smack dab in the middle of that. It's a town called Waves. Okay. And there's going to be beach on both sides. I have to be careful. There's going to be a lot of salt. Good for your sinuses, bad for your car. And it should be interesting. I'm not sure what I've looked up what does a camp host do, but we don't know what their camp host will do. So I don't know. Let's see. What else have I got? Nothing. I do have to go through my email, and I'm procrastinating because it's going to be a mess. I haven't checked it since Sunday, I think. So it's going to be a mess. The inside of the rig is also a mess. I got to tell you that. Anybody who's done travel gets it. If you get it, you get it. Because I've got the slide in and I can't bring it out. There's nowhere for me to bring it out. So I'm in a very cramped corridor on this side. Hi. And, as you're driving, every shopping bag is a garbage bag. My daughter used to live in North Carolina, and now she's in Texas. I don't know. Again, North Carolina and I have had, on the outer banks, the farther north, the more touristy. Yes, this is a tourist location. There is no doubt about that. Hang on a second. Yeah, this is a tourist location. There's no two ways about it. But Jonathan Dickinson State Park was also a tourist location. And Flamingo was definitely a tourist location. I'm just very surprised. And I'm sure that when I get there, it's going to just be another adventure. The problem is in the summertime, the fishing there stinks. Oh, well. I'll probably bump into somebody I know somewhere down the line. But other than that, that is the news that's fit to print. Does anybody have any questions, or does anybody want to take the bounty? I'm not ready to move the bounty to $250. It's getting there. But if you want to take the bounty, you let me know. I'll send you all the information you need. And Bodhi is still sleeping. All right. Any questions, comments, any last things? Because, again, I'm placeholding for Jack, but I don't want to keep anybody more than 30 minutes. Now's your time. Go for it. I'm just going to wet my whistle. Go ahead. Little bit of a treat. Arizona green tea with ginseng and honey. So, have a safe trip. Thank you, James. I am now at the last leg. We will meet up. I'm there 3 times a year. Listen, I'll probably be very easy to find. I have the name of the RV resort. I just don't have it handy. I just know it's in the city of Waves. That's it. Just like when I went to Flamingo, I'm just driving blindly into who knows what. And we don't know what's going to happen. So, it's a safe trip. Thank you, James. Have safe travels and have fun. I'm just, like I said, they're not paying me a lot, but they're paying me. So I got to take that up. I did speak to, I texted my former global director of environmental health and safety at a large company I worked at. And I told him, he was like, if you're working for nothing, you're working for nothing. I'm like, well, at least I got free parking. I said, if you guys need me, call me. I'll come back. We can negotiate that strategy. I did go to my old company. I got a call from them to maybe go back to a place in Virginia. Haven't heard from them yet, which either means they're running slow, which they tend to, or they don't want me, which is also fine too. Is there a KOA campground there? I don't know. I am unaware. Because, like I said, I'm kind of doing like I did with Flamingo. Probably Ocean Waves RV and Waves. It's not Ocean Waves. It's called something different. Southern something. I don't know. But I can run up to the front and check, but it's not that important. When I get there, I can give you the full name so you guys can find me. Hey, I was in Flamingo for 3 years. Nobody found me. And it's very easy to find Flamingo. Go through the front gates of Everglades National Park and drive until you can't drive anymore. Never saw anybody. When I was at Jonathan Dickinson, everybody can find me because it's right on Route 1. I saw one person. I met one famous person at Jonathan Dickinson. I met James O'Keefe. Okay. But that's it. It's going to be some type of adventure, and I don't know what I'm going to do in November, so I better start planning now, right? But I'm going to get there. When I got to Jonathan Dickinson, I had I was there because I had people that I had worked at Flamingo, and now I'm going to a place that I'm going to work at because there's people that I worked with that were in Flamingo. So, is it off 95? No. I have to get off of 95, and I have to go up in that little strip of island and go straight down. I've been to the Outer Banks, but I've never been there before. So this is going to be an experience. Tomorrow will be the big experience. November, I be out west. You know what? I wish I could go to Quartzsite. However, I keep hearing things from Quartzsite like it's not what it used to be. So I may not do that. I know my friend Rusty's out there. He's in Carrizozo, and he's enjoying himself. He went back to, for those of you who follow Rusty, he's gone out. He's done everything. He went from camping in a Prius to a casita to a Class C to a Class B to a tiny house with a Class C to getting rid of the tiny house, a Class B, and then he got a Class C again, and then he went back to a casita. I don't know what I'm going to do with this girl. I'm very fond of her, but it may be getting time. I mean, I told you the motor on this side to move the slide is not the happy sauce. So I have to do the slide manually, which is as much fun as pulling teeth. It can be done. You just do it, and you don't do it unless you have to. I have relations in Arizona. Carrie's my only relation. So that's all I've got. That's why I'm like, I'll put a bounty on it. If you can get me and her on the same phone together, I'll give you damn money, because the biggest thing I say in the morning is I'm glad I'm alive after I almost died. And the other one is I just want to go home. And I'm not going to be able to go home. So unless she's better, if she's better, I can go home. But not that's going to be what it's going to be. Whoa, I just looked at the time. It is 6:33. We have expired our time. So, okay, let's end it the right way. If you don't take care of you, nobody else will. Thank you, Mom. Are they like-minded? Do they share your values? Do they have something to offer? If the answer is, and can they use discernment with new information coming in? Or no? Out they go. It's too late for that. If you ain't tried, you ain't. All right? You guys have a great night. I will post a video once I get where I'm getting and I get myself set up. Thank you for so many of you coming tonight. Please spread the word. Just hold space for Jack. Once Jack comes back on Wednesdays, I'll move out of this. Thank you. Thank you so much.